Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday night brand night. I'm Sherry Danzig, and tonight the topic is about Nikken's Kenko Therm technology, which is using the far infrared technology in particular, and which often has the negative ion technology as well. If you're listening to this and you're not sure what that is, ask the person that invited you to listen in. But these are great, easy to use technologies that are just wearable day or night or all 24 hours a day if you need it. And they just offer support in many different ways. So you're about to hear some great stories. So we're going to start with Dee. If you'll please share your story on a Therm product.
All right. Hi, everyone. This is a story that I had heard on a CD when I was brand new in Nikken, like 17 years ago. It was a story of a gentleman who was working in a silo. There was a spontaneous combustion fire, and he had a lot of burns on his body, particularly on his face. It was projected he'd be in the hospital 6 weeks, have multiple plastic surgeries. His wife had been to a Nikken Wellness preview a few nights prior. Somebody was talking about the Kenko Therm wraps. This happens to be a smaller knee wrap that they used on somebody's burned area. So she took it, cut it so that it opened up, cut eyes out of it, a mouth out of it, nose out of it, put it on his face. As things turned out, he never ended up having plastic surgery. He was released from the hospital much quicker. We're not making medical claims, but this was somebody's real story. And he later said, when she put that on after a time, he could feel the heat being released from his face,
Wow.
from the burn. So that I'm a retired nurse. I remember taking care of burn patients years ago. It's not an easy thing to go through. So that was a really hopeful story.
Thank you, Dee. That's amazing. Lynn, you've got a story, please. Please share.
Um, I'm wearing them right now, but here's my story. I take pride in myself. I'm very, like my late mom, had strong arms, and I was this person that you can count on for gardening and things. But that has changed this year. My hands were starting to hurt, especially in my thumb area, and there was times that if I was cooking and I had a warm, hot, heavy pot, I'd be nervous if I should lift it because my hands were affected. But what has really helped is these gloves that I actually, in those times when it was so bad that it was bothering me that much, I would wear them through the night. I instantly have a relief. And I can say when I got up in the morning, boy, I forgot what was it like yesterday, and it's just having the ability to wear more is a little bit challenging because you can wash dishes with them. But they were lifesaver for me this year. So thank
Fantastic.
you.
Thanks, Lynn. That's amazing. Let's see. Paula, you've got a story.
Yeah, I was starting to have issues with my wrist. It was hurting so bad, and it was from repetitive motion. And my husband had the same thing years ago, and he had to have surgery on both of his hands because of it. And I thought, no way do I want to have surgery. So I used the wrist wrap in conjunction with a couple of other items. I put a power chip on the inside of my wrist, and I put two bracelets on, and I wore that for a week. And after a week, I just took it off, and it didn't hurt anymore. I couldn't. I was blown away. Avoided surgery by just wearing a wrap.
Hmm. Yep. Always good to start with the non-invasive options. Wonderful. Thank you. Barbara Richmond, you've got a story.
I have two short ones, Sherry. My shoulders both have issues. Very uncomfortable at times, particularly at nighttime. And so before I retire at night, I take the CM cream, slather both shoulders and down the arm to the elbow, really, really generously with the CM cream. Let it absorb, and then I put the wrap on, a Kenko Therm wrap, so that it is covering as much of the area as possible, and that alleviates some of the discomfort for sleeping. Another one I'd like to share with you, a little guy, he was 3 years old at the time when his parents decided to get him circumcised. And the poor little guy was suffering something fierce. So I took a wrap to his mom and I said, Bobby pinned this wrap inside his little underpants because he was wearing underpants. And of course, the material was irritating him something fierce. In 20 minutes, he was fine.
Hmm.
Healed up quickly, never heard another peep out of him about how sore he was. And yeah, it gave a little guy a lot of relief in a difficult situation at that age because, normally they're done much younger.
Sure. Newborns.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barbara. Okay, Yoko, you've got a story.
I went to get the belt. Can you kind of see it?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, so this is the Kenko Therm back belt, and it has an actual little pocket in the back that is made for you and I and anyone to put a magnetic pad or just to be able to utilize as what I consider as a little bit more support because there are two layers of the Kenko Therm. And in addition to that, there's a nice Velcro attachment that gives everybody an opportunity to fit it perfectly for their particular waist size. There are three different sizes. And I have a story, actually many stories, but I've used it for myself when I have worked out and had messed up my lower back a little bit. And I would wear it with a magnetic pad in whether it's a couple of hours or a couple of days, it's gone. And the discomfort is completely just neutralized.
Mhm.
I have a sister, and I actually have a 99-year-old now that wears her Kenko Therm belt almost every day. She says it adds support and it gives her the feeling of being able to move around. She's like an 80-year-old. It's amazing. And she's 99 years old. She'll be 100 next year.
Oh,
And she's been on Nikken products for over 20 years. Okay.
mhm, mhm.
So I can just tell you they all work. So thank you very much, Sherry.
Thank you. Yeah, my mom uses the back belt and she wears it over her clothes, but she loves the support it gives her when she's got her hips are a little bit off centered, and so it definitely gives her a lot of relief. I want to share that a couple of things. One is that the knee wraps, I take them with me when I travel. I keep them with me in my bedside table. If I have like a little bit of I've eaten something that's not agreeing with me, and I have a little
Mhm.
bit of that burning in my throat, I can just lay it on my throat. I've traveled with it, and my 100 and probably 102, 103-year-old aunt, we were on a cruise. She just took the knee wrap and put it inside her pajamas on her hip, and it calmed her hip down where it was just really achy. But for me, playing tennis, it's so funny. Sometimes, in the summertime, I don't really want to look like, because I don't look cute if I got a skirt on and then two knees wrapped. It's one thing if you're wearing pants, you can't really see it. So there've been times where I would play tennis and I'd go, I want to be cute. And, within the first game or two, I'm like going to get my knee wraps. I got to take my shoes off to put the knee wraps on. Because what's so interesting about the Kinkotherm is that it's subtle and you can't really describe how it feels. It's
Mhm.
not, you don't feel heat, but it's creating heat. But it's just this sense of, all I can say, it's like this sense of well-being. It's like getting a hug or being, the snuggling feeling,
Mm,
because it simply just supports the joint. And
yeah.
so it makes all the difference in the world when I play tennis and my knees they just feel weak. And then I put the knee wraps on, the Kinkotherm knee wraps, and they feel supported. So I think that's pretty amazing. And the other thing I want to share is that if you want to see how it can affect a lemon, we take a lemon and cut it in half and put half of the lemon, I put it in a little baggie and put it and then just wrap it in a knee wrap and give it 30 minutes. And the other lemon, you can put it in a baggie, but let it sit out. And then we do this test where we have someone bite into the lemon. They
Yeah.
bite into the lemon that's been wrapped in the knee wrap first, and they go, it tastes like a lemon. And it's like, okay, but now compare it 30 minutes later to the lemon that wasn't wrapped in the Kinkotherm. And I just sit there and I'm a little bit of a sadist, I guess, because I love watching their face when they're like, you know, they make this so it's that they can see the difference. The acidity has already been
Yeah.
neutralized in just 30 minutes. And so how it's doing that, I don't have a clue, but it's
Right.
helping to calm down the acidity in that lemon and it helps our bodies in a similar way. So it's pretty amazing. So okay, we'll take one more. Ron, is it Ron or Renee? Who's got the story?
It's me,
It's Ron.
because you told your little lemon story there. Sometimes I'll bite my cheek, not very often, but then it turns into that problem inside your mouth. And I'll I have an old headband, but you could use any other,
Uh,
product there, and that problem goes away generally overnight.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So,
It is such a gentle, subtle technology, um, and does amazing things to really support our body's well-being. So those are great stories on our Kinkotherm products. Um, Definitely, if you're listening to this and you don't know what this is, you need to check them out because there's wraps for all joints in the body. And as you heard today, you can use them creatively. It doesn't have to be on a joint. You could even cut it and open it up and lay it on the body. The body doesn't care. It just wants that extra support.